Namaste, angels. This is the weekly general reading for Sunday, June 21st, the summer solstice, so the first official day of summer, the last official day of the sign of Gemini, depending upon what calendar, what zodiacal calendar to which one refers, or perhaps the first official day of the sign of Cancer. It's also the day where we will experience the new moon in Cancer, as well as the partial solar eclipse. No items on the Hebrew calendar or the Muslim calendar about which we're going to talk this week. So with the first and only item on the Christian calendar we're going to talk, I'm going to go straight to it. It is June 24th and the feast day of St. John the Baptist. June 24th is always special for me too, because it's the day that I got my name. So many of you know when my birthday is. It was last Saturday, June 13th. And you also know, some of you, that I had no name for 10 days. On the 11th day, I was named in an African and also practiced by natives ceremony. African and or native ceremony. I happen to be both, so it doesn't really matter. But I think my parents were focused on the African and they gave me the African name. Or maybe they were focused on the native and they gave me the African name, to use both. In whatever the case was, I had no name for 10 days. I got my name on the 11th day, and the 11th day is the 24th of June. So it means something to me. And also, I guess because it is, again, the feast day of St. John. And technically, my mother's name is John. Her name is Juanita. So that's John. Anyway, let's get into what that's about, or a little bit about the feast day of St. John the Baptist. And for this, I went to, looks like Wikipedia.com. I just like pull up the first thing that comes up, and sometimes it's like an official website and sometimes it's Wikipedia. Let's see what they have to say. The Nativity of St. John the Baptist, or the birth of St. John the Baptist, or the Nativity of the Forerunner, or colloquially Johnmas, or in German Johnestag, is a Christian feast day celebrating the birth of St. John the Baptist. The Nativity of John the Baptist is a high-ranking liturgical feast kept in the Roman Catholic, Anglican, Eastern Orthodox, and Lutheran churches. The sole biblical account of the birth of John the Baptist comes from the Gospel of Luke. Christians have long interpreted the life of John the Baptist as a preparation for the coming of Jesus Christ. Yes, and for me, because John the Baptist's birth is celebrated in June, it's even more reason why I believe that Jesus is a Virgo, having been born in August or September, more likely August, based on, if we're going to base it on this date. And the reason why I say that is when Mary was at Elizabeth's house, Elizabeth, her cousin, who was John's mother. My mother's middle name is Elizabeth, by the way. So her name is John Elizabeth. When Mary was there, Mary was 6 months pregnant, right, with Jesus when she went to visit her cousin Elizabeth. So that means that if Elizabeth gave birth to her baby 3 months prior to when Mary gave birth to hers. So 3 months from June, July, August, September. Okay, maybe, like I said, I said more than likely August. I was thinking the end of August, and that's still a possibility. The last week or two of August, because I have other reasons why I believe Jesus was a Virgo too, and I've been over a bunch of them in past videos. Maybe I'll get into more of them. Not this video, but one that I do in the very near future. Maybe the moon reading. We'll see. In any case, 3 months later, end of August, early September, maybe the first 2 weeks of September, which are where some other dates that I've suggested would fall too, because I've said possibly 9/11, and I had reason for saying that, and as well as 9/19, and I had reason for saying that. And anyway, let's get back to what this says. So many Christians believe this to have been like a preparation for the coming of Jesus, and the circumstances of his birth, as recorded in the New Testament, are miraculous. John's pivotal place in the gospel is seen in the emphasis Luke gives to the announcement of his birth and the event itself, both set in prominent parallel to the same occurrences in the life of Jesus. The sole biblical account of the birth of John the Baptist comes from the Gospel of Luke. John's parents, Zechariah or Zachary, a Jewish priest, and Elizabeth were without children, and both were beyond the age of childbearing. I've been talking a lot about that too. There's a post on my page on Facebook with an older woman. I believe she's 54 and currently pregnant naturally with twins. Anyway, during Zechariah's rotation to serve in the Temple of Jerusalem, he was chosen by Lot to offer incense at the golden altar in the holy place. The archangel Gabriel, there's also a post on my Facebook this week of like one of those silly games that you play, and it was like, who's your biblical representation? And it was in my memories, and apparently last year when I did it, it was Moses. Which is always also funny for me because Moses' name in Gematria is represented by the number 613. And then again, that's my birthday. But this year it was Gabriel, who not only spoke to Elizabeth, but spoke to Mary to let her know that she was pregnant. So anyway, the archangel Gabriel appeared to him and announced that he and his wife would give birth to a child and that they should name him John, a name which was unfamiliar in Zechariah and Elizabeth's families. Acts 4:6 refers to a John or Jonathan, a name combining John with Nathan, such that the N at the end of John is also used as the first N in Nathan. Among the high priests who challenged the apostles preaching after Pentecost. So the name was not unknown within the wider priestly family. However, because Zechariah did not believe the message of Gabriel, he was rendered speechless until the time of John's birth. He lost his voice or his ability to speak. At that time, his relatives wanted to name the child after his father. And Zechariah wrote, "His name is John," whereupon he recovered the ability to speak. And you can find this story in Luke 1:5 through 25 and 1:57 through 66. Following Zechariah's obedience to the command of God, he was given the gift of prophecy and foretold the future ministry of Jesus. This prophecy forming the text of the Benedictus Canticle. Of course, there's more to read. Anybody interested? I got that from Wikipedia, but there are a number of places you could look up the feast of St. John the Baptist. Moving on to the planetary calendar. Again, this reading is for the 21st through the 27th. And on the 21st at 2:41 a.m. occurs the new moon and the annular solar eclipse at 0 degrees Cancer. On June 23rd at 12:32 a.m., Neptune goes retrograde, again in the sign of Pisces. 20 degrees Pisces, so like 11. June 25th at 2:48 a.m., all these things are happening in the wee hours of the morning. Venus goes direct. Venus, which is currently located in the sign of Gemini, which it rules. Venus is the esoteric ruler of the sign of Gemini. Similar to how Scorpio, for example, is ruled by both Mars and Pluto. Gemini is ruled by both Mercury and Venus is currently located there and retrograde, but goes direct on this morning, 5 degrees Gemini. June 27th, the last day for which this reading is, at 9:45 p.m., the only one that's occurring at night, Mars, speaking of Mars, ruler again of the signs of Aries and Scorpio, enters Aries, which it rules, at 0 degrees Aries. So let's talk a little bit about the first one, Neptune retrograde in Pisces. And for this, I went to tarot.com. When Neptune retrogrades through the emotional sign of Pisces, our feelings of connection with everything around us take a dip into our personal world. We feel a nourishing depth of empathy for ourselves as we peer into the deepest and darkest corners of ourselves. We can feel a new sense of acceptance for the wholeness of our beings. Neptune's retrograde in general shines a light inward, but its backward float through Pisces stirs our souls like none other. Here, we begin the foundational work of internal relationship building. We can see our darkest fears, our holiest hopes, our most mundane realities, and learn to embrace them all as essential parts of ourselves. Once we feel this unity within, we no longer need to look outside for it. It becomes a permanent part of the nature of our experience, and suddenly we are whole. Some additional effort is advised to ground this experience in tangible reality, however. Neptune retrograde in Pisces is heady and could remain a nebulous concept once Neptune turns direct. I mean, it could still be a thorn in your side. Taking time to create art, to write, or to otherwise share our experiences helps us to ground what we have learned and to carry it forward. Next up is Venus going direct, and I'll just say this off the top of my head. I think that for most of us, first of all, the most heavily affected people by the Venus retrograde in Gemini are the mutable signs. So Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. And now here goes some other, involvement with Pisces, right? But it is going direct, so there'll only be retrograde at the same time for what, a day or two? I think we can manage. This for us can be about the need to be firm, sort of like a fixed sign in our boundaries and things, because the mutable signs tend to be the most flexible. Gemini is a sign that's very accommodating, and we can blow with the wind, as they say. We don't like to stay in any one energy too long. So even if we're upset or we're angry, we're mad, we can't stay like that. It's not because, like we're afraid of you or to protect you or whatever. It really has nothing to do with you. We cannot stay with that. Like we just can't be in a negative space or any space again, for too long. So we sort of let that go. But I think it's selfish, in my opinion. I'm not saying it's selfish in a negative sense. I'm saying I think we do it for us. We let go of those energies for us, not necessarily another person. And we just sort of move on to, our next, where we want to be, whatever that is. But with Venus having been direct, all signs could have had or found the need to remain in a situation, or felt the need to remain, or realize maybe that we had remained in a situation too long. So now with Venus going direct, we could be turning that around, getting out of these situations, and maybe where the mutable signs had become less flexible for their own good and setting some boundaries, we'll start to go back to normal. So moving on from there to Mars in Aries. For this, again, I went to www.tarot.com. Mars in Aries, active, exciting, and motivated. And this is a very long transit. Well, it's maybe not very long. It's a long transit. June 27th through January 6th, 2021. So that's like 6 months, right? I think so. Maybe a little over 5 months. Mars is the planet that rules Aries, which means both of their energies are very similar and very in sync with one another. This isn't a confusing time when you aren't sure which way to turn. Mars in Aries is a time of great confidence, increased drive, and powerful beginnings. Makes sense because Mars is the planet of aggression and action. Mars's transit through Aries is an amazing time of initiation and activity. If there's something you've been hesitant to start, Mars in Aries will help you to finally get the ball rolling. Mars is the planet of action, and when he's in Aries, He's on top of the world. Yes, it is a masculine planet, and Mars is actually the masculine planet of love. Although Venus is the planet of love, period. In general, Mars is the masculine planet of love. He's on top of the world. He's strong, independent, and fierce. There's nothing, absolutely nothing that will stand in his way, no matter what he wants to accomplish. Mars in Aries is always triumphant. Fiery Aries is a cardinal sign characterized by immediacy, activity, and pioneering. So Mars fits perfectly into this fast-paced environment. Because there is little resistance during Mars and Aries, it almost feels like our obstacles melt away, but it's not like they've totally disappeared. We're just too driven and confident to be daunted by them, even though we'll probably face these obstacles at some point down the road. That's not the point of Mars and Aries. This transit is not about planning. It's about moving forward, regardless of what may stand in your way. Fire, in general, the element of fire, wands, is about movement. We'll want to blaze trails, to push ourselves, and to tone our bodies and minds. We'll be more likely to do things that we've never done before during this transit. Mars and Aries both are about trying, not about winning. Success comes from participation rather than the conquest. And while this incredible surge in energy can be beneficial, it can also become a challenge in our lives and our relationships. Because we're less concerned with consequences, impulsive behavior is likely. We may find that we experience more outbursts of anger, or that our direct approach rubs others the wrong way. Mars in Aries makes us all feel like it's my way or the highway, which means we aren't willing to meet others halfway. We could end up butting heads more frequently due to the aggressive energy in the air. I have to tell you that earlier in the week, I felt that I was supposed to name this reading Meet Me Halfway, and I did not know why. And I guess that's what it is. We aren't willing to meet others halfway during Mars and Aries. It goes on to talk about what it means if you were born with Mars and Aries in your own chart, for anybody who's interested. But that's all I'm going to talk about this week. So let's get to the dice. Looks like I actually forgot to put them on the table. So let's see. We're starting with massage, email, and eat cake. Happy birthday to the rest of the third decan Geminis and the first of the first decan Cancers. There could be other reasons people are celebrating. I'm still seeing graduations, and again, June is the biggest month, most popular month for weddings and things. So people are celebrating. People are getting married still. People are celebrating their anniversaries. All of this. So congratulations or happy birthday or whatever applies. Spirit says yes in terms of the dice. Romantic dinner, and maybe that yes is for a wedding proposal or engagement. Will you marry me? Something. Romantic dinner, maybe where it happens or what follows or something. And spend money. Don't get a, don't get a cheap ring. No, I'm only kidding. Get what touches you. I'm personally not even necessarily like into diamonds and stuff. I like other stones. I like diamonds. I don't hate them, but I like other stones too. And I like to be different and non-traditional. Anywho, as far as the cards this week, we are beginning with, I'll do this deck last since that's the one I'm going to start with. So I'll start from over here in the corner. Oh, okay, wait. The Nine of Winter, Nine of Swords. Your worries and fears aren't real. They're fueled by focusing on the negative, which gives power to that of what you're afraid. Stop worrying, let go of fear, and everything will be okay. Some of us may be experiencing anxiety this week. Actually, I said I wasn't going to start with this yet. I wasn't going to talk about this yet, but the Ace of Wands in reverse can be about anxiety too, because something really awesome is coming your way, but it's likely delayed, and that can make you feel anxious. So behind this Nine of Winter, or swords is also, I'm seeing a 4 of winter or swords. And this was in reverse, actually. So that may mean something. Thoroughly think things through before making a decision. Continuing to overanalyze isn't going to get you any closer to a resolution, but meditation and prayer will bring you the answers that you seek. And then next, I normally don't mention the reverse cards, but I am because they're also in the suit of swords. And also because when I went to pick this one up, I picked up both of these and revealed the 3 of winter or swords underneath it. So I figured I was meant to mention it. Sadness is part of life, but you don't have to endure it alone. You may need a little time to heal, but once you work your way through the emotions, you'll be stronger than before. The next card is also in the suit of swords or air. It is Major Arcana card 17, the star, which represents the sign of Aquarius. You're about to take a big leap forward with your life. Worry will be replaced with optimism. Fear with hope, and joy is coming home to roost. This star was also in reverse. The next card is a court card. The next 3 cards are court cards. So these characters may be involved in whatever this situation is that is making somebody feel anxious. The next 4 cards are court cards, actually. They were also all reversed. So it's the Knight of Water or Cups. Emotional, romantic, enthusiastic, and contemplative. Falling in love or wedding proposals. The need to balance emotions. It may be a social event. Maybe because somebody's wedding has to be delayed. That's why they're upset. They're worried. Something like that. Possible. The Prince or Knight of Spring or Wands. Passionate, charismatic, confident, and restless. An opportunity arises that needs your attention right away. Moving quickly rather, is important, yet there's nothing that you can't handle if you follow your own inner guidance. The Queen of Water, tenderhearted, empathetic, patient, and loving. Relationships develop to a new level. Trust your intuition. Care for yourself and others. And the Princess of Spring, or the Page of Wands. Energetic, outgoing, optimistic, and creative. Creative opportunities that you feel passionate about are fluttering your way. Personal growth and broadened horizons will spark fresh and original ideas. So these things can not only be involving actual people because they're court cards, but could definitely be some sort of representation of the planet Mars. And maybe the fact that it's going retrograde, maybe that's why they were all in reverse. And so there's delay involved, maybe with a mate or a loved one, somebody to whom you have an emotional connection, returning to your life. Knight of Cups can often be about that. They may be a Scorpio, which is ruled by Mars, again, in part by Mars, in part by Pluto. So there would be that fire and water combination is possible. But the Queen, specifically of Cups, most directly connects to the sign of Scorpio, maybe a Pisces, right? That is where Neptune is going retrograde this week. And so that can also be, again, tied to delay. May even be a Cancer, the Sun, the Moon, Mercury. That might be it. The Sun, the Moon, Mercury, which is retrograde too, all located in the sign of Cancer. So some sort of opportunity, either in love or something involving emotions, or with someone, again, in whom your emotions are invested, and or something, to which you'd have an emotional connection to. So maybe like that job that you loved or that you could fall in love with, if it's a new opportunity, something like that. And that may be, again, why there is worry. We want to talk about the 3 and the 4 of Swords too, being in reverse. Well, again, maybe there's an Aquarius involved or other air sign, Gemini, Libra, but most directly the sign of Aquarius. Maybe there is something for which you prayed, something on which you focused very hard. You were making some sort of intention that you wanted to manifest this thing, and you can feel it, see it, smell it coming, but it's not coming quickly or fast enough, or maybe you don't realize it's coming at all. Maybe you can't see it. And so that has caused some sort of pain or disappointment. 3 of Swords in reverse can often be about disappointment. Again, maybe because some relationship or something in which you have an emotional investment didn't come through yet. Job, something didn't come through yet. And you need some kind of break. You just, and I think it's because you're like emotionally, again, upset. You're feeling anxious, maybe because you are waiting for some sort of opportunity to come through, or an opportunity with a particular someone. Again, very possibly involving love, relationships, romance to come through. And somebody's actual wedding may have been delayed, or something like that. You had to push back your plans, something you were looking forward to. It's just not happening right now because of whatever's going on. Yeah, I'm seeing more evidence of that with message from afar, which this card tends to, it often does represent for me like the planet Mars and Jupiter. And so it's messages from really afar. And we're getting a lot of intuitive messages, signs, synchronicities, and things like that. Stuff happening in our dreams, just feeling pushed to take some sort of action, in some area, or seeing ourselves being rewarded for our karma, our good karma, or maybe our bad karma, things coming to, but usually good karma when it's Jupiter, right? Jupiter is about luck and positivity, growth and expansion. And so those can often be what the messages from afar about, but maybe, again, it's involving separation because something or someone with which you were supposed to come into contact, it's delayed, it's not happening yet. And so maybe that's why the message is from afar. They got to email you or call you long distance or something like that, and you still can't see them. And again, it may involve somebody's very special relationship, some sort of sacred union. This is the general reading, but the sacred union, I'm going to say, is still like some sort of spiritual partnership, even if it's not a romantic one, but very, very likely and possibly a romantic one. Something is off, but you should still receive messages about it. And when you do, consider it to be divine guidance. And because the moon is here and this very red, fiery, so again, more Jupiter, Mars perhaps, this infinity symbol is telling you that the guidance and support is going to be there always, but the moon is suggesting that you please do surrender to it, like let go, listen, follow it. And that is the path toward abundance for you. Next card is in reverse. So, like I said, normally would stop, but I do want to mention it because it's dreamed. And for me, this card is very Piscean. So again, connected to the moon, perhaps, which we do experience again, a new moon in Cancer this week, a solar eclipse, partial solar eclipse in the sign of Cancer. But this card is very Piscean, Neptunian, and Neptune goes retrograde in the sign of Pisces this week. So not only might you be getting these messages from afar, but they may be in the form of dreams, whether you're asleep or awake, right? It could be daydreams, could be sleeping, could be your actual dreams and goals that are on your mind. And again, you're manifesting, but it's just not coming quickly enough. You don't realize it taking shape enough. And or there is some sort of delay, some sort of obstacle that's been laid before you. Very possibly just the retrogrades themselves, right? Just the delays that they tend to cause, particularly Mercury, right? It tends to like throw a monkey wrench into different situations. And when it doesn't, sometimes it makes us just not want to, we don't want to move. We don't want to follow through on something, right? Because it's just like not a good time typically to do anything involving like any real communications. People tend to be misunderstood, or signing any contracts, right? Something tends to go awry. Travel plans, it doesn't work out. So you know, a lot of times you delay yourself for those reasons. Lastly, from the Keepers of the Light Oracle, Diana, and focused intention. Think about what you desire. So this is about manifestation too. Set your sights high and expect the best possible outcome. So this is really a deterrent to, you know, just sitting around being anxious and nervous and having sleepless nights and needing some real rest. Again, we're going to start now with the Ace of Wands from the Rider-Waite deck. I might as well go ahead and move these. And again, it says that, you know, things should be going well overall. You should be feeling good, but things could be going well and you're, again, not feeling it. You're not realizing it yet. You're not, you know, sensing that there's some opportunity trying to make its way to you, or that things are, going good for you in the background behind the scenes, like message from afar. If you are struggling with some sort of anxiety, just try to figure out like from where it's coming, like what is the root, what's bothering you. And it may help that you speak to somebody new about, the way you've been feeling or how to handle these things, whether that's a new friend, a new, potential love interest, a new professional or something. And that could be very inspirational. So now we'll do one card for each of the 4 elements. The next card behind this Ace of Wands in reverse is also, or is upright. So normally this is something I would like to mention. So I'm going to go ahead. It is Major Arcana card, the Fool, Major Arcana card 0. And the Fool 2 is about new beginnings. But again, maybe there's some sort of new beginning that's delayed. Some risk is very likely involved. You're going to have to like throw caution to the wind and take advantage of this opportunity. That may also be what's causing you anxiety. Maybe you are your own delay. You're putting some sort of obstacle and block because of your worry, and you're afraid to take a risk and afraid to jump in. So that may be what the delay is about, if there is one. The Fool is a very spiritual card. It can be about a need for introspection and about, spiritual growth and change, transition to something else. It's not really about being religious, but sometimes people can find themselves making some sort of change to their religious beliefs, or maybe giving them up for spirituality. All of those things could be coming. You could be starting some sort of new relationship with God, right? Or a higher power, or whatever it is you believe. I'm trying to think. I guess that's all I want to tell you about, but it's like there's some sort of like very new experience, journey, brand new path you never walked before, that is beginning for you. Okay. So now, one card for each element, with the first element being fire. Oh, and the card is in your element too. And it's another one of the same cards that we just saw in the other decks, right? When I had the angel and animal tarots stacked up here, combined together. We just talked about the Knight of Wands in reverse, no less. And here he is again. So the Knight of Wands in reverse is, again, about some sort of opportunity that's coming, some sort of message, maybe, because like pages tend to bring news and messages. And then this one is like, the one that it's like when you receive the news in the moment that something's about to start. So like a page can bring like warning alarms, like this is coming. And then when it's here, you get the call, you get the email, you get the text or whatever, boom, right? But when it's in reverse like this, it can mean, again, that there's very possibly some sort of delay to whatever it is that's supposed to begin. You're going to have to wait. But then there's also a reminder, like, good things to come to those who wait. And again, you have a good thing that's waiting for you, this Ace of Wands in delay. So Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, something very good in your own energy element is trying to come to you, and maybe involving a fellow fire sign. If this is, represents perhaps more than your energy, this could be you and some other fire sign having something happening. It is a positive thing, but it's not going to happen today. It may not happen this week. I mean, I guess it could happen at some point in the week, maybe later on in the week, in preparation for the week following. I'm trying to get like best in the frame here so everybody can see. Maybe I should lower them. Is that it? So y'all can see the cards. I just wanted to leave this out here because that's the overall energy for everybody. And then again, here's the card for the fire signs. How's that? I think that might be okay. So the earth signs, right? After fire comes earth, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. And your card is Major Arcana card 17, the star. Didn't we just see the star too? We did. It was in reverse as well. Okay, it's up right now. So this is even more positive. Definitely a good omen. And you're probably the type of person to think positively anyway. And you guys are the ones who are the most grounded, right? The earth signs. So, you're probably for the most part optimist, being grounded. But even right now is an especially good time for you to think positive, because it's an especially good time for you to manifest things, especially the fixed signs is what I'm feeling. So that would be, and that's in connection to the retrograde. So that would be for the element of earth, the fixed sign of Taurus. And actually the star represents, again, the sign of Aquarius. So there could be something going on, involving in Aquarius. And or it's Aquarius's ruler, Uranus, which is currently located in your sign, Taurus. So maybe this message is strongest for the Taurians who are watching, but you could definitely make some changes to your life right now. And there may be things delayed, but make some plans, right? You guys are good at that too. Earth signs make plans, and they're the best of all the zodiac at actually following them through and getting them done. Think big. There's like nothing that can stop you. Remember what we just talked about with the Mars transit, right? Mars and Aries right now. And for you Taurians, that Aries energy is right before yours. So it could be running into some of you may be like Cuspians and all that. There's nothing too large for you. Think big, make a plan. And as soon as the delay is over, Venus is going direct. Anything else going direct, like in the near future? Worst case scenario, like the second week of July, when Mercury goes direct as well. You should be able to get moving on, whatever it is you begin to plan now, I think. Air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. It is our own element, the Queen of Swords, and she too is in reverse. Nice. Some of us may be a little bit abrasive right now, a little pushy. Be careful of that, because you can push people away. I think more so than being about us, though, as individuals, as people, that this is representative of, again, our ruler's energy. So both that of Venus and of Mercury, and probably more so of Mercury, even though it's the Queen. Because, he's the one that's sort of turned upside down right now, or going backward, right? Or appearing to go backward, or feeling like he's going backward. And so I think it would most likely be him. Queen of Swords in reverse can be about stumbling blocks. Remember I said there may be some stumbling blocks. Maybe we put them in our own way, or maybe Mercury put them in our way, or one of the other retrogrades, or combinations of those. So they can definitely be that. But actually, with this card, whatever the obstacles are, they tend to have been put there by someone or something else. It usually is not you, to be honest. And I know that that probably sounds like I'm favoring the air signs. Like, it's not us, it's other people, but it's true with this card in reverse. That's what it actually means in the tarot. But we do have to be careful about that. Just being abrasive, pushing people away, and just like shooting ourselves in the foot, unnecessarily on things. Water, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. I was stuck for a second. The King of Pentacles, very nice. Very, very nice, actually. He's upright. He can be something about a job, or some money that's coming your way, some abundance that's coming your way, and it may be delayed, but you can feel really confident that it is coming. Also, it may involve a direct earth sign, and it's sitting here in my little spread right underneath the earth pile, or placement rather. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Pluto, the other ruler of Scorpio, is actually currently located in Capricorn, retrograde. That may have something to do with it. Resources and things that you can, this is something you can really count on and depend upon. So even if it's delayed, when it comes through, this is something that's going to make you feel comfortable, whether it's involving love and romance, or it's involving actual money or the material, or both. It is something that you can absolutely believe in and trust. And if it's a person, it might be an actual man, maybe even taking it a step further, again, a direct earth sign, but that's not required. Whether he is or not, again, this man is also a person, is also somebody in whom you can believe and trust, like absolutely. And you just don't have to feel worried. Again, the Nine of Swords, with which we started, is all about feeling worried and anxious. There's absolutely no need. So get to finding out what the root of that anxiety is, because our overall energy is also about that potentially. And once you figure out what it is, you can shake it off, or figure out how to get rid of it, whether you're able to do it yourself or you do need to speak to somebody else, like we also talked about. That's a possibility too. That's something you can do and remedy it. I'm going to bring the other cards back. Let's pull one more card for the Queen of Swords for the air signs. I was thinking maybe for the Knight of Wands too, but the Knight of Wands is still a positive card. This one can go like either way. So, all right. So maybe the Queen of Swords is, maybe there's a Leo involved with Major Arcana card Strength coming up upright to clarify the Queen of Swords in reverse. That may be it. But more than likely, if the Queen of Swords has any self-imposed obstacles, then what that obstacle is that she's not using her greatest strengths to her advantage, right, in removing the obstacle. Or even if there's from somebody else, even if somebody or something else put the obstacles there, she's not using her greatest strengths to remove them. And her greatest strength may be strength, right? The ability to face whatever comes her way. It's possible that she's forgetting that she can do that and take care of any possible problem. But I think I'm comforted by the fact that we're clarifying the Queen of Swords with Strength upright nonetheless, because this is also a card that is positive in every single potential area of your life. So whether it's in a general sense, whether it is love, whether it is money, job, all of that, Major Arcana card Strength is a card of positivity and abundance that's on its way to you. So again, the obstacles will be listed. They just will be lifted. There just may be some sort of delay. And in the case of the air signs, we may be able to end the delay ourselves or remove the obstacles ourselves. Use your strength to pick up whatever the boulders are and toss them out of your way. Moving on to these. Normally I would shuffle them again first and cut first, but I don't know. I'm just moved to see what they are this way first, and maybe I'll go back around to clarify and I'll shuffle them then. So we're beginning with Major Arcana card 18, the Moon. Maybe that's why I just felt like just starting. Again, there is a new moon this week. Whenever there's like a major moon transit, like a new moon or a full moon, and I do my reading, the moon does show up. So it has not failed me yet. Here it is again. Again, the moon represents most directly in the tarot the sign of Pisces, but Earth's actual moon rules the sign of Cancer, and they could be the moon could be tied to any sign, but particularly the water signs for me, any of them. It's important to trust your intuition, even if you're unsure of what's happening. All will be revealed soon, so worry is unnecessary. Is the card that crowns the masculine this week. Surrounding him, again, maybe something going on with spiritual partnership, or the need to have faith and believe in yourself and others that you are going to be successful. With the Two of Spring or Wands showing up, your vision, creativity, and dedication to your cause have brought you great success. In fact, it may be in your best interest to get a partner in your endeavors to assist you in your endeavors, or to expand the number of people who are helping you. The Two of Wands in terms of love and relationship is also the divine union or soulmate card or twin flame card of the tarot. Masculine subconscious, it's another King of Pentacles. He is compassionate, accomplished, charismatic, and grounded. Everything's going to turn out great. Projects will be stunningly successful. Exciting new career opportunities are possible, and money or resources that come your way will be invested wisely. Very possibly something involving a business, and and maybe you're getting moved, you're some sort of guidance to go ahead and move forward. Maybe you're expected to start moonlighting, like while you have one job, start your own business as well. It may involve a partnership. Go ahead and go for it. Follow those inklings to do that. It could also be tied again to relationship, maybe involving a water sign, particularly a Pisces or a Cancer or a Scorpio, in that order, and the King of Pentacles. Because remember, just a moment ago, I did another spread with the Rider-Waite deck, and the King of Pentacles showed up for the water signs. Crowning the feminine. Speaking of love and relationship and feeling good, it is the 10 of summer, the 10 of cups. It's time to express your love and appreciation for family, be it relatives or a chosen family of close friends. Congratulations may be in order on a happy and fulfilling marriage, as well as raising happy and balanced children. Somebody may need to tell somebody else how they feel about them this week. Or this could just be you feeling good all by yourself and not necessarily wanting for anything. Perhaps because you feel something good is coming your way. This card was upside down, so again, this could be tied to the delay, but whether it is or whether it's not, it is the Ace of Cups nonetheless. Falling in love or the resurgence of a relationship. So you could be meeting somebody new and falling in love, or maybe you've recently met somebody new already and the relationship is just developing and you feel good and you're ready to tell them how much you love them, how you feel, or somebody's coming back into your life, like I said before, potentially based on the Knight of Cups that had shown up here. So falling in love or the resurgence of a relationship. Spiritual growth, perhaps like what I was talking about with the Fool having shown up here. Enhanced intuition, maybe because of the moon or the eclipse, the solar eclipse, or what's going on with Pisces and Neptune, the retrograde. All of these are reasons to have increased intuition, enhanced intuition, maybe even a new home. So we talked about that too, the possibility for some sort of material increase or abundance. And the feminine subconscious, the Queen of Air, Queen of Swords, is also back. And she too was upside down a moment ago. I had to flip like she was in the Rider-Waite deck. I just flipped her experience, realistic and witty, and possibly a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius in your life. Objective decision making, clearing away all that no longer serves you and seeing the humor in a situation. So this could be you figuring out next steps. I'm getting rid of what I don't need, making room for what I do need. And that's just love. I only have room for positivity and love in my life. Period. Right? That's what that says to me. Crowning the Six of Fire, Six of Wands, victory. Good news. It's on its way. It might be delayed though. Public recognition or awards. At the root or foundation. So this is from where we started and it kind of sucked. The Five of Air, Five of Swords, an unwise choice. Learn what you can from the situation. Review everyone's motives. This can also involve some sort of drama, gossip, someone's integrity, being called to the carpet, trying to figure out like who's real, who's fake, a liar or something. But that's the root. That's where we started, and all this other good stuff came after. And the heart of the matter, lastly, it's the Nine of Air, Nine of Swords again, another Nine of Swords. So we got one here again. Remember, crowning, and now we got one at the heart of the matter, no less. Now we know why I was meant to not shuffle the cards this week and to just go straight to it. Expecting the worst, self-fulfilling prophecies, and sleepless nights. Why are we expecting the worst? Maybe because we had a time in the past that was difficult. And so now we're expecting the same thing again, but no, there's all this wonderful energy here. So I am going to, as promised, go ahead and mix these up a bit. I'll try not to mess up the spread. There's no rhyme or reason to the way I'm picking them up. Some upside down, some right side up, some on the bottom, some on the top. And we now have the Eight of Swords as our overall energy. It's so easy to convince yourself that you're trapped when you really aren't. Trust that God will lift you to new heights and give you a greater sense of self-confidence if you first affirm your freedom. So we may be feeling that we're trapped behind those obstacles, right? We can't move until those obstacles are moved. And that may not be true. And in fact, we may have the ability to pick up the obstacles and toss them out of our way. But we have to try. If sitting there focusing on the negative and thinking that we cannot move them or that they cannot be moved, will make us feel as if we are trapped. So again, clarifying or crowning the masculine again and clarifying the moon, which he already has here, is the Five of Autumn. So it is that sort of feeling of worry. He's worried about lack. There is no lack here, but he's worried about like the potential for lack rather than focusing on what is here. Focusing upon the negative. Isn't that what I just said? Like literally before I pulled this card. Focusing upon the negative or worrying about money or your career, even relationships and stuff in a negative way can block your progress. Because your trust and faith are at a low right now, it's not the best time to start your own business or to become self-employed or probably, to try to fool with any relationships until you lift yourself out of this space, right? This negative space. And with the moon showing up underneath it, there's very well some sort of guidance coming to you that can help you to lift yourself out of that negative space. Clarifying the Two of Wands is another Two of Wands, basically, but a stronger one. This is Major Arcana card 11, Strength, which represents the sign of Leo, so the element of fire. It is essentially another Two of Wands. True strength is displayed through kindness, forgiveness, and compassion. So there may be a call for you, masculine, to offer that to someone or maybe yourself. Some kindness, forgiveness, and or compassion. You have tremendous personal power. So basically they're saying you can do it. And clarifying the King of Autumn or Pentacles, it is, it's another strong card in that element. Major Arcana card 5, Unity, or the Hierophant. Right, that's Taurus, represents the energy of Taurus most directly. Embrace this time of deep spiritual growth. You may feel called to act as a mentor, to find a new teacher, or to spend time with others who are also on a sacred path. That may be what this partnership is about. Whatever kind of partnership it is, whether it's a friendship, a business relationship, a romantic relationship, you might need to be around people who are more like you or dealing with some of the same things, the spiritual changes. Maybe again, I said it could be involving some sort of move into a new spiritual belief system or religion or something. And essentially we have 2 fives of autumn, one crowning and one at your feet, with the actual 5 of Pentacles here, and then Major Arcana card 5, which is also in the element of Earth or Pentacles. I tend to tell people that Hierophant is very often about the people, places, and things with which we surround ourselves, and the need to make some sort of adjustment so that we're aligning with things or people who match our vibration or have a stronger vibration than our own from which we can learn something. So there may be a need to change. Alternatively, this can have to do with contracts, and maybe it's some sort of financial contract or a contract involving an earth sign, something involving a house maybe. All of those are possible. And maybe the delay is, again, because of Mercury retrograde and you're not supposed to sign any contracts. Maybe you just physically don't want to. I'm not signing no contract until Mercury retrograde is over. Mercury goes direct. It's very possible. Or energies could, just like a monkey wrench perhaps was thrown in, or you're just worried that one may be thrown in and you're just paranoid. And because of that paranoia, you're at risk of potentially manifesting negativity into your own life. Crowning the feminine and clarifying the 10 of Cups for her, although that's already a wonderful card on its own, is the Queen of Spring, the Queen of Wands. So this happiness may involve a fire sign or the element of fire. Again, Mars. Maybe you're taking action with Mars entering Aries Maybe you're taking action in the area of your love life. Again, you're telling people that you love them. So maybe somebody, one person, one special person, you're letting them know. Talented, brilliant, independent, and charming. Maybe a Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Don't underestimate your ability to manifest your dreams, including happiness like this. You may have several priorities vying for your attention at once, but you can do it. Atop the Ace of Cups, it is the King of Swords. So we have the Queen here, the King. At this time, it's very important that you communicate clearly, be objective, and be objective and unemotional, and act as professionally as possible. If you need advice, seek out the most experienced expert you can find. Well, that's the same thing that the Ace of Wands in reverse and the Knight of Wands in reverse told us to do, right? To seek out advice or talk to somebody, and maybe somebody new, maybe for the first time in our lives. So here we have, again, this Wands energy, this time in the form of the Queen, and we have both the Queen and the King of Swords. When two cards, court cards of the same element show up, the masculine and the feminine, then for some people who are watching, it's definitely like a relationship, a romantic relationship scenario. Possibly air on air, but doesn't have to be. These could be, again, representing representing Mercury rather, and Venus, both of which at this moment are in retrograde. Mercury in Cancer, Venus in Gemini. Both rulers of Gemini. Mercury also a ruler of Virgo. That may be another from where, again, the King of Pentacles is coming, possibly. Atop the Queen of Swords, Queen of Air, it is the Eight of Pentacles. It's the perfect time to learn all you can by returning to school, taking a seminar, or conducting research. Do your best work and the law of attraction will bring you prosperity and career advancement. So this is a card of reaping what you've sown, or reaping what you sow. You put the effort in, you're going to get the reward. That's all it's telling you. So think about whether or not you're going to put the effort in. Take some sort of action. And if you do, you're going to get the reward. Crowning, clarifying the Six of Fire. It's another 6, but major arcana card 6. The Lovers, which most directly represents the sign of Gemini, the King of Winter. Again, maybe a Mercury, ruler of Gemini. Maybe Venus, ruler of Gemini. True and long-lasting love finds its way into your life. Follow your heart with caring actions and choices. Sometimes the Lover's card, particularly in this deck, again, we just read that it's about true and long-lasting love. So real love and crossing not only strength, but the Two of Wands. And again, having both the King and the Queen of the same element here. For some people, this is definitely about love, and it's the real deal, right? It's the real deal. Soulmate love, divine union, twin flame, whatever you want to call it, it's the real deal. For others, this Lover's card, especially since this is not the love reading, it's the general reading, is showing up with regard to some sort of decision that you need to make. But it will be a successful one, sitting here atop the Six of Wands. Not only is it a decision, though, but it's one like your heart versus your head. So it's a difficult or challenging decision involving emotion, like we talked about in the beginning when we saw those court cards in the suit of either wands or cups. Something like your heart and your head fighting. You should do this, but I feel to do this. Whatever, whoever wins or whichever wins, it's the right choice. And you're happy, right? It's the right choice for you. You're happy. Atop the Five of Swords, clarifying that. It's another card in the element of swords, the Page of Swords. Logical, truthful, curious, and undiplomatic. Very possibly a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. This is an intellectual challenge that calls upon your ability to think of a matching solution. If helpful information is put to you bluntly, which maybe could have been what the Five of Swords was about. Somebody could have just said something to you in a very blunt way, and you felt like they were coming for you. But this says, accept the message without being bothered by the messenger. So you can keep that in mind. Because for some of us, this maybe it didn't happen yet. It's at the root, but maybe it didn't happen yet. Maybe it happens at the beginning of the week for us. And by the end of the week, we're dealing with the other stuff. You know what I mean? Lastly, clarifying the 9 of air at the heart of the matter, the 3 of autumn. Again, you have nothing to worry about. Abundance that you have earned, right? You're going to reap what you sow. Abundance that you have earned is coming your way. Your most satisfying and profitable career or relationship or anything really comes from following your passions, listening to your heart versus your head, right? It's yours, not somebody else's. And doing what brings you joy. Your life purpose is best fulfilled by allowing your talents and true self to shine forth out into the world. The 3 of Pentacles is about some sort of abundance coming your way, very possibly directly through your work, maybe a promotion, a raise, or something, or a new job. You could be meeting somebody at work or entering a relationship with somebody at work or that you met through work, whether they're a customer, a boss, a client, I don't know, somebody down to the, like when you go to the convention or whatever, somehow connected through your work. Can also be representative of 3-party situations, or what I call a party of 3. If it does, it's still, everybody's happy. Maybe that's what the decision had to be of, we're picking one and narrowing it down to 2, right? And then there were 2. It was 3, then there were 2. And figuring out which is best for you to get rid of, because you've realized that one is real, right? One is the real deal and you can't let that go. Further to that, here's some advice. I'm just putting these here because I'm looking for a card from the other deck, right, for this one. So that each archetype has a card from each of those decks. From the Universal Love Oracle. And from the Keepers of the Light Oracle. So to the masculine, from the Keepers of the Light, Master Jesus and forgiveness. What did this say again? So very possibly connected to faith, because the number 2 can be about faith. Maybe connected to your actual faith against something spiritual, something religious. Maybe that's why Jesus is showing up in connection to these energies. And or this could be about faith in yourself, faith in somebody else, and giving them a chance. And or it may be directly tied to the fact that true strength is displayed through kindness, forgiveness, and compassion. So this could be you extending forgiveness to somebody, yourself and or somebody else. And that's why Master Jesus is also showing up for you. You are on the path of light, love, and forgiveness. Father healing is possible at this time. This is a general reading. There could be something going on between you and your actual father. Father's Day is the first day for which this reading is, the 21st. So there may be something that happens over the week. Maybe some of us who had been out of touch with our father, or who were feeling some sort of lack in that area, lack in that relationship. We have daddy issues. Maybe that lack, there's going to be some forgiveness extended between us, and it'll be worked out. Maybe the party of 3 is representing of the mother, the father, and the child. We do sort of have that here with the king, queen, and the page. And Mercury retrograde does tend to bring people back, into your life. Maybe your dad, or maybe it's bringing up a situation from your past. That's possible too. For the feminine, Hilarion and divine healing. So we're going to, mend something as well, or heal something as well. Honor your sensitivity. Retreat to recharge and heal. So that could be tied to like the 4 of Swords that we saw. Like I said, that could be about a break, or the need for a break. The 9 of Swords, which we saw twice or came up in from 2 different decks in this reading, can be about the need for rest and recovery. So that may be what this is about. Your light can support others. So that's why you got to keep it shining, right? You got to take care of yourself too. Masculine, birth or rebirth, or again, this could be tied to you as a father or your own father or both. Maybe there is an actual birth of a baby, or you are a father now, a new father, and so you're experiencing something different. Or again, there's a birth of something new, whether it's or a rebirth of something like a relationship or a new business or a new job, some sort of abundance. For the feminine, physical body. And this is our body giving us messages. It may be tied to the element of fire specifically, and, perhaps directly Mars, Jupiter, Leo, Sagittarius, Aries. But this is messages not really from afar. This is from pretty up close. Again, our own body, gut feelings, what's your heart telling you to do, what's in your mind is, you feel a sinking feeling, you feel butterflies, what's going on, and then listening to those messages. From the animal tarot to the masculine, again, a decision that has to be made. For some of us, it's time to stop procrastinating and to make a decision so that you can move forward with a priority. If you need to do more research, then do so. But don't overthink the situation. Listen to your heart. Somebody may need DNA for their baby. You got to take that's the research you have to do. And there's nothing wrong with doing that. I don't like when women, get upset about DNA, especially when you're unmarried. Maybe when you're married, you're supposed to be able to take it for granted that the child is yours and you don't request a test. But when you're unmarried, I don't care how virginal this woman is. What if she was to give birth to a son herself? Would she want somebody to potentially take advantage of her son? It should be perfectly acceptable and understandable that people need to be sure, especially since if a man, in many states, if a man signs the birth certificate, whether he turns out to be the blood related, actual father or not, he has just signed himself into responsibility for the next 18 to 21 years. And that's just not right. So somebody's dealing with that this week, and you need to do more research, sir, and do it. Please actually do it. And again, there's going to be success. So you'll be happy you did. Maybe you want a child to be yours and you do the DNA test and you'll be happily surprised. Maybe you don't think one is yours and you'll take a test and you're correct and it's not, and you'll be able to move on that way. Feminine. The 9 of Cups. So some dream coming true. Just like the 2 star cards that showed up here, those are about manifestation too. Wishes being granted, prayers being answered, dreams coming true. This 9 of Cups is very Piscean for me again too, like goals and dreams. I mean, just manifesting successfully. It's a really positive time. Now's the time when your dreams come true. Don't worry about how this will happen. Just give gratitude to God for all that you have and all that's still to come. So something that you maybe wouldn't even imagine is possible to occur, that you'd say, like, how could that possibly happen? They're saying, don't worry about that. That may be why the 9 of Swords showed up twice, because you're worried about that. Like, this, I want this so bad, but it can't possibly come true. This is like the universe, God, whatever, saying, don't worry about that. I got that part. You just, have the focused intention. You worry about the manifestation part. I'll worry about getting, whatever it is you're focused on to you. And lastly, from the from the Angel Tarot, it's another Queen of Wands, just like we got one there. She is confident, warm, intelligent, and graceful. And again, a Leo, Sagittarius, or an Aries. Stretch your wings and fly. Don't underestimate yourself. Assert your independence and creativity. Somebody could be, maybe they're going to become a father soon, in the time, maybe in the month of July or early August with the Leo. The Queen of Wands is confident, warm, intelligent, and graceful. And lastly, well, we stayed on topic, right? With all these swords. It's another 8 of Swords, which is our overall energy. If you may remember, 8 of Winter, right? 8 of Air, same thing. An illusion of being trapped. a lack of self-confidence, being afraid to take action. This week is all about action with Mars entering Aries. Don't be afraid to pick up those boulders and toss them right out of your way. I hope you guys enjoyed the weekly general reading. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not yet a subscriber, please consider becoming one by hitting both the subscribe button and the bell button. If you don't mind sharing, I sure do appreciate it. Sharing is caring. And comment also. I don't know. I used to have so many comments, and I guess that maybe that's why I had so many views. I don't know, because I'm being told now by YouTube that the comment thing is important. And yeah, you know, many of you know I've been having problems with YouTube for a long time. It's years at this point, but it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse, and the views just keep getting less and less because of those problems. But they say that comments can help. So if you don't mind, I know many of you like to prefer to talk to me in private. You message me, you know, text me, whatever. But if you can put something there, I would appreciate that too. And thanks again for letting me slide with my nails. For those of you who don't know, I have acrylic on, but my real nails are pretty long and they're underneath here. And I'd rather just let them break if they're going to break than me trying to take them off, because this one, for example, did break and it still broke below the nerve. It's healing and it's not as sensitive.